Hi everyone, welcome back to Raw Inspired Living. I'm in my kitchen again. Yes, I am making another recipe. This channel is not just about food, although it does seem like it at the moment, but honestly, food is just such an important part of our life, and it's just something that we're not educated enough on to understand how the things that we eat really do impact the quality of our life. Not, in 20 years or 30 years, that is a definite given if you're not looking after yourself, in your 20s, 30s and 40s. But the day, how we experience our day. So when I did the long juice fast that I did a 40-day juice fast. And one of the things that was fascinating is that during that juice fast, my thoughts became very, very different than what they had been on a daily basis prior to me doing that juice fast. And I realized that the link between the frequency of food that we eat and the way our mind processes thought patterns is very, very related. So I'm super passionate about just trying to help people obviously eat more raw food, because the bioavailable nutrients in raw food is phenomenal. You need all those enzymes to help with digestion, lots of other things, but it's not about going raw overnight either. And so what I want to help people do is replace some of the foods that they are currently eating that they love with healthier options, right? So today we're going to make a fruit pulp muffin, which my daughter absolutely loves. She loves taking them to school. And I'm going to show you how to replace some of the things that would be in a normal muffin that you would buy from the shops. Now, the challenge with a lot of the things that you buy from the shops like muffins is not only do they have more processed food in them, but they've also got other things in them like preservatives and that you just really don't need. You definitely don't need it for your health, and you don't really need it for the food either, but they need to make it shelf stable, and that's what happens. But all of those aspects that are in those foods that you eat, your body has to do something with, right? So the further away from nature the food is, the more exercise and activity and requirements is asked of your body. So that's why you have low energy, you have big sugar crashes and all of these different things, because your body has to work so hard to get rid of all the stuff that it doesn't need, which is all the stuff that isn't vitamins and minerals and nutrients. It has to get rid of that. It has to flush it out of your body. So often as we get older, we struggle with liver issues and kidney issues and those sorts of things, because it's just so overburdened trying to flush out all of the things that it doesn't need. So one of the reasons I wanted to start this channel is to help people understand that you can actually make things that are really delicious, but still fuel your body, and your body doesn't have to work so hard in digesting those things because they are closer to nature. So let's take, for example, coconut sugar, which is one of the ingredients we are going to use in this recipe today. So unlike white sugar, they have done studies, and white sugar impacts your immune system really. It impacts it hugely for the first few hours after you consume white sugar. It does something in your body that doesn't allow your white blood cells to, as effectively as they would normally, combat bacteria and viruses, right? It can lead to obesity, it can lead to type 2 diabetes. It actually has been proven that the pathway that white sugar creates in the body and in the brain is very similar to that of a narcotic. I know, weird, right? Because it's on every table in every restaurant and most households. And when I studied kinesiology years and years ago, we had a lovely guy that taught us anatomy and physiology, and he said that he cannot believe that we feed sugar to our children and that it is so readily available, because it is as addictive as a narcotic, right? And that's why you crave these sweet things and this sugar, because that's what it's doing to your body. It is like a narcotic, and you want it, you want more of it. So if we can just get rid of the white sugar and replace it with something like coconut sugar. Like coconut sugar is less processed than white sugar. It's still a sugar, but it's less processed than white sugar, and it comes with all of its minerals, right? So it's got iron, zinc, calcium, potassium. So all those minerals are still intact in this sugar, and your body needs those minerals, right? And the other thing that coconut sugar comes in is a fiber called inulin. And what that does is that stops the sugar being absorbed into your body so quickly, so you don't get these really high and lows that you would from a normal processed white sugar. So that's an easy replacement. It's got a nice little caramelly flavour. And the other replacement is dates, like just plain medjool dates or dates that you get from the shops, right? They are phenomenal because they are close to nature. A date is as nature provided it, right? You take the seed out and then you use it. It comes with all of its fibre intact, right? All of the minerals that I just talked about with the coconut sugar, like the potassium, lots of natural minerals in dates, right? So that is phenomenal for you to use as a replacement for a sweetener in your smoothies, in, you know, recipes that you're doing. And so those are the two of my go-to sweeteners, and maple syrup as well. Maple syrup, if you get proper maple syrup, not the syrup kind from the supermarket, but a proper Canadian maple syrup, it also still has all of its minerals in it, and that is good as well. But today we're going to use coconut sugar and dates. So this is another very simple recipe that you can do. So I have got here, you will see the juice pulp. This is carrot and beetroot. So we've done juice this morning. My husband actually did the juice. How cool is that? So we've done juice. I have a Nama J2 juicer, which I love. It is fantastic. I'll talk about that another day. But this is just the juice pulp that comes out of it. So it's got all of the fibre, it's got beautiful nutrients, and it's a moistness for the muffin. So it's very, very simple to just grab that out of the juicer and then use that in your muffins. So I'm going to make this recipe with oat flour, but I've also got a recipe with spelt flour. If you don't want to grind your own oats, that's fine. But today I'm doing the one that doesn't have any flour in it. It's just ground oats. So you will see I grind them up in the Thermomix, but you can do it in a food processor or a blender. So that's it, just 4 cups of oats. And it's very, very simple. You just add all your dry ingredients. So in here we've got some psyllium husks, we've got some baking powder, bicarb, and a little bit of cinnamon, right? So all your dry ingredients go in together. We're going to pop our coconut sugar in. Right? Now, one of the other things that's used in this recipe is, we call it an egg replacer when you're vegan, but it's actually ground flax seeds, right? They are fantastic. So for every one tablespoon of ground flax, you would add 3 tablespoons of water. So I'm just going to pour the water in, right? And you just give it a little stir around. I'll just grab a spoon. And that becomes your egg. It's a binder. So you don't really need eggs. Eggs are one of the first things that I replaced when I obviously became vegan, but I'm like, how do I bake without eggs? Because I was so used to baking with eggs. You can use this, what we call flax egg. You just let it sit for a few minutes, you know, not even like 2 or 3 minutes, and it'll thicken up and it helps bind all the ingredients together. So it's an amazing replacement for an egg, and that's what we use when we're vegan. And not only that, flax seeds are hugely amazing for your health, right? They're full of omega-3s, and you want more omega-3s than omega-6s because omega-3s are really beneficial to your health, right? So that's what you want. So flax seeds are one of the highest omega-3 foods that you can have. So anything you can put them in is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all our wet ingredients, as we normally do, into the Vitamix. Again, I use the Vitamix more than I use anything else. So I'm putting the milk in there. I've used soy milk, but you can use any plant-based milk. I'm going to pop in the pulp so that it gets all blended and you don't get big pieces of pulp in your muffins. Nobody wants that. Dates go in there as well, and the flax. So it's thickened up a little bit now, and you just pop the flax in there. You can see it's a bit thicker now. And that's it. And we're going to blend that up, and then we're going to add it to the dry ingredients. So with the dry ingredients, you just grab a whisk and you're just whisking them around. Honestly, these recipes are so simple. Anybody can do them, really. I mean, Holly, my daughter, she can make these recipes, right? They're just not that complicated, right? And you're just mixing all that around till it all looks all mixed in. Very simple, right? And then you're going to blend up your wet ingredients, which we will do now, until it's smooth, like you want it smooth like a milk sort of thing. It doesn't need much in the Vitamix, 20 or 30 seconds. Look at that beautiful colour from the beetroot. It's amazing. Gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that pink colour. That's all from the beetroot. And beetroots are so good for your health. Like, we love beetroots in our house. We eat a lot of beetroots. And then you're literally just pouring your wet mixture into your dry mixture. Like that. Look at that. That is amazing. Look at all those nutrients. The colour is just sensational. Unfortunately, the muffins don't come out that pink, because that would be really cool, wouldn't it? They don't. When they cook, they don't come out pink and gorgeous. So you just stir this around, and if you think it's a bit dry, you can actually just add a little bit more milk, right? So if you think, because it's really hard to know, you know, some people measure their cups flat, other people don't measure their cups flat, so it really depends on, you know, how you're measuring your cups. But it's a muffin recipe, so it will be a bit thicker than a normal cake recipe. But this is looking pretty good. And the way I put mine, I actually spoon my muffin into my muffin pan, and I'll show you how to do that with 2 spoons. It's very simple and very easy. Okay, so that's what you've got. Looks pink now, but I'd say it doesn't actually stay pink. But anyway, that's that. And then what I use is I use silicone muffin cases, just so that I'm not wasting paper. And these are amazing. These are from Seed and Sprout. I can pop a link down below to the ones I use. They come in this colour, and they come in this really nice little sage green colour. But they are fantastic, and you use them over and over again. It's amazing. If you want a great place to go and shop for your non-toxic bakeware, Seed and Sprout, she's just done an amazing job, that lady. She's just got such a lovely site there, and she's set it up with just all of these amazing products. So I get most of my things from her. And so the way I do my muffins, you can probably see that there, is I literally just get a soup spoon or a bigger spoon, and I do that, and then I pop them in and I scrape them off with a smaller spoon. Right, so we're just putting a spoon in, getting a big spoon out like that, and then we're just scraping it off with the other spoon. And that's really how I do them. So you bake them in the oven for probably about 25 minutes at 180 degrees in a fan-forced oven. Just one other thing that I forgot to tell you. I fill my muffins up, you know, because they won't rise a lot like normal muffins. So I sort of fill the case up 3/4 full with my muffins, and I find that makes a really nice size muffin. So I hope you try this recipe, and I will come back when they're finished cooking and show you what the finished product looks like. Look at these delicious muffins straight out of the oven. They smell amazing. They are not overly sweet, these muffins, so if you would like them a little bit sweeter, it's fine. Just add more dates or add a little bit more coconut sugar, because obviously my tastes have changed over time, so things can taste ultra sweet to me now. So yeah, but the recipe is really forgiving, so just use more, you know, sugar or dates in them if you want to. And remember, the silicone muffin, they just come straight out. Like, they are so amazing. So yeah, you can just slice them and have them warm. I mean, how good are some muffins with some vegan butter? Delicious. But this is the finished product, and you can see beautiful fluffy muffin, and they're delicious, you know, and your body knows what to do with these nutrients, because most of them are really close to nature. Even the sugar, the coconut sugar, still has all its minerals. So if you are feeling like you still want something a little bit sweet or a little bit, you know, treat-like, then this is definitely a recipe I want you to try, because they are delicious. They're delicious warm, or they're delicious cold. As I say, I pop them in Holly's lunchbox, and she loves them. So yeah, let me know how you go. Let me know if you try them and what you think of them. These didn't quite take 25 minutes, so it really depends on your oven. So between 20 and 25 minutes, but you'll get the hang of it. But yeah, give it a try, because I think you'll be really surprised at how delicious they are.